Let's make sure everything's check. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we go. Sleep time's over. Calvin the Catalyst, DJ Zach Morris. And now we have a special guest in the second segment. Special truncated season 4, episode 808.
808.
Stars have aligned.
We're gonna run with that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
808 is fine.
808, it's 8.
It's a special edition.
Episode 808.
It's because we, right? Schedules are all jammed
Rest in
up.
peace, James Bond.
That's right.
James Bond, 808.
Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Wow.
007, 008, some odd stuff.
Favorite James Bond?
You know, I don't think I've seen a full James Bond movie straight through.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
None of the Sean Connery ones.
I've seen like half. You know what I mean? Remington Steele, that dude, seen a couple of those.
Remington Steele, yes.
Whatever his name is.
Roger Moore is a classic.
Roger Moore's a
a
classic. That's a good look.
classic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't remember if I've seen. I know you look at the names.
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan. There you go.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. I think I've seen the whole Daniel Craig one.
Yeah, that was like the most serious of all of them.
Right.
Like, they got serious for
Plus
it.
they got all the effects and stuff.
But Roger Moore, I gotta say, was the one that has.
You think he's the best?
I don't know when to say the best. I didn't see them all either, but like you said, the distinguishable look.
Yeah.
Like when you see that guy walking in, you know, you say, hey, that guy looks kind of like James Bond. Hey, you are James Bond. All right.
That guy get chicks, bro.
You get
Anyway,
the chicks,
moving along. We got a special guest for the group Super Groupers, originally from New York.
Grew up in New York.
Navid. I'm screwing up.
Najafi.
Navid Najafi
Right.
illnomadic.
Buck 'em.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Super Groupers here. Just so happens.
Yes.
It's in the area.
Yeah.
Just so happens, you just never
say,
know.
You know what? I was talking about the Hokus,
Yes.
and we seen them outside. We're like, dude, can you come and chop it up for a minute?
Exactly. Excellent segue.
Yeah.
You just never know.
So then, boom, because he was there at the Hoku.
Well, I lurk because first of all, this is a great honor for me to be on this special podcast. You guys have had some heavy hitters, some big guys on here.
Yes, blessed.
Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Yeah,
Oh, I
he
tell
was
you,
here, man.
Razor Ramon.
Razor
that
Ramon
dude.
was here.
Every once in a while, I lurk outside, just hoping, wondering maybe I could run into,
And just so
one
happened.
of these guys. So
The time is now. The time is.
one of these days, I've been lurking for 6 weeks straight.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Like summer school, right?
Dedication and
You
determination.
see it opening, right? You're like, oh.
The window's open, you jump right through it.
But anyway, tell us how long you've been rhyming, how did you hip hop, your history on the roots of hip hop.
Well, originally I'm from Iran.
Okay.
I was born in Tehran, Iran. But I grew up in New York. I moved to New York when I was 8. And lived mostly upstate New York, right outside of the city, in a small town called Poughkeepsie, New York. Shout out Potown. You know where you at.
That sounds so
Poughkeepsie, New York.
familiar. Is that in a movie somewhere?
Well,
No, you
back
know what?
when-
Actually, it's been referenced a few times.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys.
And it's where the WWF used to tape their shows when they were small time.
No
Poughkeepsie,
way.
New York was the town.
Was it the Hudson Valley Civic Center? I believe.
What?
There you go. Bruh, you see how this works?
Yeah.
Hudson Valley Civic Center.
You see how this works?
Poughkeepsie, New
All the
York.
old WWF was taped in Poughkeepsie.
Wow.
That's how I remember
Meant to be
Poughkeepsie as a
there.
kid. Yeah.
Well, Q-Tip said Poughkeepsie. I think he said it twice
Oh.
in the Tribe Called Quest discography.
Gotta look for that.
Yeah, threw some references to Poughkeepsie. It's been in some movies.
Did he say what was the reference like referring
I'm trying to think of it now.
Something that rhymed with Poughkeepsie.
to? Gypsy?
Yeah, it was like he was shouting out different regions and he threw in
Oh,
Poughkeepsie.
okay.
It was like I think it was Midnight Marauders maybe.
I don't know.
It's not coming to me now, but
Maybe it's one of those rhymes that you don't know what they're saying,
yeah,
but you know.
Yeah,
because you're like,
exactly.
oh snap! Or like, what does it say?
yeah.
Well, I remember Poughkeepsie as a kid because that's where they would always be at. The WWF at the time before
Yeah,
WWE
that's true.
would film a lot of their tape shows at
Because
Poughkeepsie.
at the end of it, they tell, we're coming to the
Live from Poughkeepsie, yes, Poughkeepsie. They always would mention Poughkeepsie, New York, Poughkeepsie,
Right.
New York, and that was odd to me because we only know New York City,
Right.
and there's Poughkeepsie. So, yes.
Poughkeepsie.
This
So you
is a
grew up
big
in
moment, though.
Poughkeepsie?
It's come around now. You realize that there's a place and
Yeah.
people are from it.
Right there, you go. See how that works? There's actual people there.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yes.
So yeah, I lived in Poughkeepsie. But I lived closer to the city a little bit to like New Rochelle area.
Nice. There you go. Heard of that?
But I left right before my senior year of high school. Moved to Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Lived there for about a year,
Ooh.
and after I graduated school, well, it's funny because I pretty much graduated high school my junior year. As far as New York equivalency to Atlanta to Georgia,
Okay.
because when I went to Georgia, they're like, you're pretty much graduated
Right.
as far as our requirements.
Wow.
And then I ended up coming out to Hawaii on vacation, went to the Big Island, and I was supposed to stay 2 weeks, stayed the whole summer.
Wow.
4 months.
Wow.
Met some homies out there, homies I'm still friends with now.
Okay.
Actually, the original Kamehameha project.
Wow. Oh, so you're down with Feminine
Yeah,
Projects.
met
Crazy.
those guys.
Wow.
Met those guys. That was 98.
Yeah, what are those
97,
guys
98.
doing now?
Well, Kapu is in Maui.
Okay.
Rin is out here. They just actually played a show in Maui. Nohokai and IMI, the two other guys, they're out in the Bay Area.
Wow.
They still do music. Nohokai produces beats. He comes out here once in a while.
Right,
plays
right,
music.
right, right.
Actually, him and Pure Powers was one of the guys that was
Okay.
down with that crew. He was one of the younger kids.
Wait, Pure Powers is down with Feminine Projects?
Yeah.
Man,
on
what's
Maui,
going on?
yeah. So he kind of grew up there,
Okay.
but he was the younger cat in the crew. And now he's doing really good. He's touring everywhere.
Yeah,
He's
he's
brought
everywhere.
out a couple of guys out here. So yeah, I met those guys originally, 97, 98, through skateboarding actually.
Oh, that's crazy.
My first day in
Oh,
Hawaii.
there you go, the
I
connection.
grabbed my skateboard, skated
Yeah.
down the street, along the beach, saw a ramp in this kid's front yard.
Right.
They were all skating and little Pakalolo, learned about
There you
that, you know what I'm saying? So,
There you have it.
and that was the beginning for me.
Well,
But
that's
I ended up
crazy.
moving to Oahu
Okay.
around 2001
Okay.
to go to UH. So lived
Oh,
here in
okay.
2001 till about 2004. Then I had some family stuff. I had to go back to the mainland. Was gone for a couple of years, and then came back out probably around 2008
Okay.
or so. But I didn't come out as far as, so when I first moved here 2001, I remember your show and I remember all the hip hop stuff. Actually, one of the first events I ever went to, I was flying from the Big Island back to the mainland, stopped in Oahu a few days, and it was the 1999 ITF
Wow, that's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Championships. Yeah.
That's
Right.
huge. That's huge
Yeah.
for Hawaii.
Jay Rudy
Yeah.
Damage.
We were there,
Yeah,
yes.
we were there,
So I went to
man.
every
We were all
event.
there. Yeah.
I met pretty much a lot of the local guys. The first dude I met was Jamal, of course.
Oh,
Of course.
nice.
Of course.
There's a shocker.
So yeah, and then he introduced me to a lot of cats, you know. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
I actually wrote an article about that for a magazine in back in the East Coast
Wow.
called Elemental. Wrote
Oh
a-
yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Serious?
No. There was just that.
I got a couple issues right
Oh,
there.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
just
another
wrote a little article about the event here and traveling through and stuff. So
Wow.
yeah, and then I moved back out here a year and a half or so later.
What year was that?
2001.
2001.
And then you hooked up. Did you hook up with Scott and?
I didn't hook up with Scott till
The
like
rest of the crew.
2007, 2008.
Wow.
But 2001, I started playing live music,
Okay.
playing with live bands. We had a band, first the Herbivores, shout out to the Herbivores.
Nice, nice.
And then Four Elements, we played for a few years. We gigged around town, played at, Pussycat
Okay.
Lounge
Yes.
Yeah.
with microscopic
Right,
syllables.
nice.
Yes.
So you were always in the mix. We just
That was
never. Really,
Wow. See, it's weird. Yeah.
yeah, we're all there.
Yeah.
We're all there, but we just
Yeah.
things happen for a reason, and here we are now.
So do you get kind of like irritated and people don't think that you're actually from here?
No,
Because
because
technically,
I mean,
I mean,
I've been here a long time because I'm just old now. I've been here
yeah,
a long
but I mean, you've
time.
been through
Yeah.
historic
But
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't get it.
Like ITF 99 is huge
Honestly,
for
a
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Middle Eastern kid growing up in the States, like
Right.
I can't get irritated by much. So I gave
Okay,
like
word.
where you're from, who you are, all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
You know. Do you guys swear?
Thank you. It
Okay.
comes out.
Anyway.
Well,
Yeah. So yeah.
It's fine because in Hawaii, you got guys coming from all over the place anyway,
Oh, yeah.
right? A lot of it is whether or not you're hip hop enough or not.
Yeah, that's true.
That's always that thing that's annoying.
Right.
And were you there or were you not there?
Yeah.
How much do
Well,
you
you know what it is too. I mean, you were mentioning earlier about how 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, there would have been the store would have been packed, Cypher outside.
Yeah.
That was like 2008, 2009, 2010. That was like a peak for Hawaii hip hop.
That's
There's a
true.
lot going on, Bone at the Tropics, all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
here for that, but I was not an active participant. I didn't go to any shows. I didn't play any shows
Right.
because I was working on a solo album at the time, and I didn't want to even rap on the mic without having something,
Oh,
a CD.
Right.
Right.
Because I've been doing it for so long,
Right.
and I've done all this stuff
Right.
with these bands,
You
and
want
tried
to
to
plan.
record,
Right.
Yeah.
and I never had an album. It's like I was in it for 10 years already, and I never had an album.
Right.
You know, so I was just focused on that. And then once I finished that, it took years. It was a long process, different studios. But when I finished that was 2011, and I submitted that for the Hokus
Okay.
because that was the year that Hawaii or hip hop and
Right.
R&B were separated.
So it's
And they had-
2011.
2011, but it's called 2012
Okay.
because they do I released the album in
Right.
2011.
So there's R&B now and there's hip hop.
Yeah. So I submitted the album then, and then that's when a lot of people heard about me because
Right.
they looked me up then.
Yeah.
But I'd kind of been out of the scene like 3-4 years.
Right.
So that's why maybe a lot of people didn't know me. A lot of the older heads
Right.
remember, but the younger kids and stuff. But after that, I started playing more gigs and going out.
So question on regarding you submitting to the Hokus here, and what possessed you to as your strategy of submitting to the Hokus when it's kind of looked at in I guess the hip hop community? Do we care?
Yeah.
Right?
It's more of a Hawaiian
why was that
award.
why was that your angle to get your name out
Well,
there?
I was on the same boat as far as who cares? And still, I mean, I'm not convinced it's really that important of a thing. I mean, I
Right.
can't
Right.
think of anything else in music here that's so important locally, but really doesn't mean anything outside of Hawaii.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you tell people outside of Hawaii, you're gonna be like, oh, it's like a Hawaii Music Award.
Right.
And
They're
we're
like,
like,
oh, okay, well, that,
Right,
I don't know
that's
if other states have music awards.
I know
I mean, that's
other
the thing.
ethnicities do.
Right.
Yeah.
But not states.
And that's the thing with the Hoku. I mean, I'll get back to your question, but this event and this award is for Hawaii music.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they're including these other genres, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, we're trying to get more involvement from the community.
Right,
And
right.
people did complain, a lot of people complained for years to get different genres, add more categories, and be more inclusive. But really, at the end of the day, this is for Hawaiian music. The award really is much more meaningful. And actually, as an award, it means more because there's way more participants
Right.
in the Hawaiian music category, in the major categories.
Yeah.
But anyway, the reason why I decided to do it in 2011, 2012 is because the year before, the Angry Locals had gone and they recorded their Hoku experience. It was on YouTube, and I'd always followed them and followed everything else that was going on. And they made kind of a big deal out of how disappointed they were that hip hop was being disrespected and wasn't
Yeah.
being recognized. It was being lumped together with R&B.
Yeah.
And every winner from 2008 until it was separated was either R&B singer or some random singer.
Right.
Hip hop guys never won. So they kind of made a big deal about it, and Cristal's put out that song Dear Heart. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
But it was like one of the dopest songs I'd heard at the time, and it was such a hip hop way of dealing with the
Yeah,
problem,
totally.
of
Yeah.
responding to something.
Right.
So I'm gonna do it in art in a creative way, put out this track, and that ruffled a lot of feathers
Oh, yeah.
at the time. But I remember being inspired by that, and then I'm assuming that's what led them to separate the categories. They realized, hey, there is a hip hop scene. So that year they announced that we're gonna have this separate category for hip hop. And
There
so
you
I was
go.
like,
So the
yeah, why
protest
not?
actually yielded
That actually
results.
worked.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Which is
And-
rare
Right.
in Hawaii.
Well, I don't know. Like now they say, as far as the official thing, I think is something along the lines of we recognize that there was this growing, emerging
Right.
genre. No,
Yeah.
it's been growing, emerging for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you,
Yeah.
you can't blame
People
these
gotta
guys
go
too
and
either.
well, yeah, but people, you have to go.
Yeah.
And you have to tell them what you want.
Yeah.
You have to. That's the only way you're gonna make change. So those guys did, and unfortunately, I think I don't want to speak for Chris, but I feel like that experience kind of tainted his perception of it.
Right.
Even though he was instrumental in changing
yeah.
it, I feel like it was something that he just never wanted to fuck with. It.
Mm.
He was like done with it, you know.
Mm.
But because it was separated, I felt like it's a hip hop category. I'm going to submit. But what happened that year? There was only 4 submissions.
Right.
Okay.
Remember the submissions?
Yeah, I remember the submissions. So the way that it works and the way that these categories work, when you have a new category, I think you have to have a minimum of 4 or 5 submissions to
Okay.
create this new category.
Okay.
But there was so much pressure to get hip hop in its own category. There was only 4, but they created it anyway. But then once a category is created, I think you need a minimum of 3 submissions to
Okay.
have that category exist.
Right.
So what happens is so let's say I'm submitting for any category, my name goes on a list of submissions, which is the preliminary ballot.
Right.
So this is what's important, people need to understand.
Okay.
There's no selection committee.
Okay.
There's no one out there listening to every album that came out
Wow.
and
Right.
deciding, hey,
And they don't
this-
have a people's choice either.
there's a favorite entertainer.
Who votes on that?
It's a online voting
Oh.
thing.
Okay. But those
Wait,
are the members.
that's right. I voted.
No.
Is
No.
that
There's I think a few categories that are open to the public. Like
Right.
Entertainer
Okay.
of the Year, I think, is one of them.
Okay, I think I did remember.
But then
those.
every other category is voted on by the members, the
Right.
Hawaii Academy
Right.
of Recording
Right.
Artists, which I believe there's 600 to 700 or so members.
Okay.
So what happens is you submit, your album gets on this preliminary ballot of everyone who submitted.
So
the
how,
only
how do
thing
you
is-
submit it? Do you have to pay to submit it? Do you have to apply to submit it?
No, you just
Yeah.
go on their website, there's a form,
Okay.
you fill out the form,
Hear that, everybody?
and you send it in. It's real easy, you can Google it.
Internet.
And I always post this up every year anyway. Yeah, you just go on there, there's a form you fill out, and it's real basic. And
Right.
you don't even have to have physical copies anymore.
Wow.
I was just
It could
gonna
be
ask
digital.
Hey,
that.
just
Don't-
No. It could be digital only as long as
Wow.
you own it. It was produced mostly in Hawaii. I don't know what I think it was
Percentage,
75%, whatever the category is. It has to be produced mostly in Hawaii.
Okay.
It has to fit the description of the genre.
Okay.
So when they get submissions, they listen to them like, does this sound like it belongs in this category or this category?
Right.
Okay.
And then they decide. But other than that, they're not judging the quality of it. They just decide what goes where.
Right.
So once that list of preliminary nominee or ballot or whatever, that goes out to all the members,
600 members.
600 or so members. Then they vote for the top 5,
Yeah.
Okay.
and the top 5 become the actual nominees,
Okay.
the finalists.
So if there's
Those
only
top-
3, there
So
will-
there's only 3.
Then that's-
Those 3 automatically
That's it.
become finalists.
Yeah.
They become
and then the
nominees.
600 vote.
And then the 600 or so vote out of
Right.
those 3 who they want as the best of them.
Right. And these people who are in the
They're paying a monthly.
600,
Yeah.
No, it's not a monthly. So
Okay.
when I signed up, when I originally submitted my album, I became a member of Hara because I wanted to see how
Right.
the whole process worked.
Yeah.
I wanted to get all the stuff in the mail.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how everything
Exactly.
worked. So it was $90 for 2 years
Huh.
to become a member.
Oh.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit more, maybe 99 or $100 now. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I became a member for 2 years. I got all of the stuff sent in the mail as
Yeah.
far as the preliminary ballot,
wow.
and the final ballot, and I was reading it, and it states right at the top when you get the ballot,
Yeah.
it says, please only vote for things that you know about.
Wow.
As far as categories that you feel like you have the expertise to be able to judge
Okay.
what's better than another,
You answered my
or
question.
please take the time to listen to the different
Okay,
nominees.
there you go.
and,
Yeah, yeah.
Please avoid nepotism, blah blah blah. all
Right,
that stuff.
right.
So, looking
Okay.
at that, and then I'm thinking about the general membership of
Yeah.
Hara, 600, 700, mostly Hawaiian musicians.
Okay.
You
Maybe
just answered my question.
75% of
Exactly.
them may be older.
Right,
Exactly.
right, of course.
So, in
Yeah.
my mind, doing the math, I would say maybe 75%, 60-75% of the Hara membership probably leave the hip hop category blank.
Right.
Exactly.
So
The
what
rock
happens then?
category, then whoever else votes on it. So let's say you have, out of 600 people, let's say you have 100 people vote on it.
Right.
Right? So those 100
Yeah.
people are basically deciding who's
Exactly.
the winner.
And the 100 people are spread amongst 3, for this year, 3 groups.
Right.
Right, so-
you
Right,
only have
so
3 choices.
30 could go for 1.
30 could go for
20
one,
could go
exactly.
Right, so
Yeah.
your chances, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And that's why, honestly, like, you know, being, so I ended up winning in 2012.
Right.
And the other submissions were, no, I can't remember. Oh, no.
Kasha? Creed?
No. Slap Symphony.
Okay.
With that compilation
Right.
that they put out, which was dope, actually. I thought that was going to win for
Right.
sure. And then Family Dinner was the other
Right.
one. That was Joel Spiral's live band.
Okay.
And then Triple Los.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I know Los, yeah, Beetroot, all
yeah,
Beetroot
yeah,
people.
Yeah, that's Beetroot there.
Yeah, Los is Beetroot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those
Slap
were the
Beetroot.
nominees. They were the
Okay.
preliminary ballot. They
Right.
became finalist nominees, and then out of those 4, my album won.
Right.
So
Your solo album.
my solo
Okay.
album, yeah. So it was under Navid Najafi
Right.
called illnomadic, which is also my kind of MC
Right.
alias or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, and that was, I was shocked. I was super shocked.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And and even then, like I still had perspective on it. You
Yeah.
know, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I don't want to disparage how big of a deal it is for people in Hawaii, people who grew up in Hawaii, and specifically Hawaiian musicians, because it is a big deal.
It
It's
is,
not- I mean,
yeah.
anytime, and for me, being someone as an outsider coming in, I've always watched history. I know everything that's happened here.
Right.
Like Brada is won that award.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. I
Yeah.
mean, for me, like, that was one of the first Hawaiian musicians I ever heard. And always being socially conscious, socially aware, growing up in a dictatorship, I was always aware of politics, so I knew the history of Hawaii. I knew what had happened here, and so listening to Brother is the first time I was like, this is a revolutionary. I mean, listening to Hawaii 78, and the stuff that they're. I mean, it's powerful, powerful stuff. So that I'm not taking that lightly at all. That's a big honor to be in that, even in the same breath. You know, that's a big deal. But even then, I had perspective on this is not an actual recognition of what was the best hip hop album that came out in Hawaii, because it's not voted on by the hip hop.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not representing all of the recordings. It's just who submitted, who knew how to submit, who submitted their stuff, and that's the only list that's being selected from. So what happened is the next year, I was pretty active in trying to recruit people to submit. And as far as sending out emails and stuff to people, letting them know, hey, deadline's coming up. Sign up.
Build this up.
So the next year there was 10 nominees. Wow. Which is good, which is huge. And out of the 5, finally, IA was a finalist, Audible Lab Rats. I don't think Mo Illa Pillows.
Not that year.
But I feel, in my opinion, that was the best album that came out.
Elementals.
Was dope. That was the best album.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
But yeah, as far as, and then what happened that year is I actually recorded a live album with guys that I was recording at Soul Sound Studios. We had a group called Evasive
Is it the one with Punahele on top?
Yeah, so we had Punahele, we had the Broke Mokes, and it was a one-night live recording that we did. And I didn't even know when the guy recorded it that he was planning on submitting it to the Hokus. In my mind, I was like, I don't really want to, I'm good with what happened last year. And I would rather be like the ambassador trying to push it, trying to branch it out, trying to get people to realize that this is a good promotion opportunity. It's all it is. Awards. People take awards way too seriously, one way or the other.
True.
You shouldn't, and especially in hip hop, you don't need that type of recognition to tell you whether you're good or not. Hip hop's never been about that.
Exactly.
It's always been anti that.
Exactly.
Actually. So, but it's a great promotional opportunity.
Exactly.
You get your name in the paper, everyone looks, hey, who is this? All the hip hop heads around the island, whether they're against it or for it, or it pisses them off or not, they at least look, let me see who these guys are.
Do you think it's the due diligence of Hawaii hip hop not taking the initiative to even submit? Like, is it the Hawaii?
I think it's the hip hop community in general. They're anti these awards.
Kind of lazy.
Yes,
where they look at it as they're anti the award, but it's promotion.
Yeah.
You're
Yes
promoting
and no.
yourself.
I think a lot of times what the biggest problem with hip hop in Hawaii, I feel like, is we have too many artists, not enough business people who care.
A team.
What we need is a publicist. More And I've talked about
got any
this.
questions?
Oh, no.
This is a recording podcast.
You guys.
Okay, no problem, man. Have a good one.
Okay.
This guy's been running a business.
We are live.
Hey, you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it,
We are live.
This is hip hop business.
Don't be
right?
ashamed. Just
This is
ask
what we're
questions.
talking about.
No shame, just spit your game.
Yeah. No, but what Hawaii hip hop needs is we have plenty of artists that are dope.
Right.
You can't expect artists to be supporting other artists.
Right.
And artists to look out for other artists.
Right.
You can't get mad at artists and say that there's no support because. But 95% of the time, people that come to events are other artists. I feel like there's more support in Hawaii than anywhere else in the country. It really is. But what we need is support on the business end. So that's why maybe a lot of people don't submit because they don't have business people to tell them, hey, this might be a good idea. Whether you think it's a good idea or not, whether it goes against your... But maybe it's not. I don't know. Like, things have changed so much. People aren't putting out albums anymore. People are putting out songs. People are putting out videos. Like, how important is this award and being recognized for an album? I don't know. Things are changing. It could be a completely antiquated thing at this point.
Right. This is something that we've talked about, Gavin, for many times throughout the decades, actually. The business sense was never there with these artists, whoever they are. MCs, DJs, whatever, it's always them supporting each other. Where do we have the random person that's just a fan? It's never a random, just a fan. We don't know where they are because we can't market to them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. This is what I've talked to several artists about, and it's something that we should all consider for sure, is getting together our resources and hiring a publicist. Hiring somebody that can work for us 1 day a week, 2 days a week, because me, supergroupers, we don't need a full-time publicist. We don't need someone full-time, 8 hours pushing out our stuff. We just need someone maybe a couple hours a week doing it. So if we could, 5-6 artists can come together and hire someone to sit at a computer for 8 hours once a week and we give them all our stuff, and they promote, they pump out, you know, and they have to know like which sites to go, where they have to
Right,
post.
Of course, and that's where you
I don't know.
share your knowledge to them and be like,
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean,
where
I
you
know
go, this is what you
some.
do.
I know some.
And you guys all build from that.
Right, right.
Does Hawaii even have publicists?
That's what we need. We need Hawaii publicists. And I feel like there's kids in school right now that would be willing to do that and would probably be good at that. And they know the internet.
Right.
They know.
It would have to be
marketing.
some young guy into computers, that type of situation. Where has this been mentioned? Have you stated this? to everyone?
Just in conversation
Okay.
with fellow MCs and artists. But we've actually Supergroupers. We're working with a company just recently who's starting up. They're starting a promotional kind of business, and they want to work with us to build a website and, you know, get kind of our brand a little bit more, because, you know, as an artist you're expected to do everything. As an MC, underground hip hop,
Right, yeah, totally.
hip hop, you gotta be the manager, you gotta be the publicist.
Exactly.
I'm still doing everything.
That's what we do with the show, you know.
Yeah.
Right, which is good, but then like
So we do
you're
this.
never gonna be great at all of those.
Right.
You can be great at one of those.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're never going to be great at all
Never.
of those. And even the most underground of the underground cats that we see touring, coming here, touring
Yeah.
the world, they're not doing it by themselves.
Nah,
They
they
have
got
a team.
managers now. They got teams.
They got managers.
Exactly.
Well, that's
they
kind
got
of what I've been
publicists.
saying is like Hawaii needs a team. Like one thing about super groupers that I like, you guys have a dedicated producer,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I don't
You don't
see
see that.
in
I
today's
see
era right
Not at
now.
all.
Is if you look at any of the mainstream dudes, Drake has 40, right?
Yeah.
So it's like one of those ones.
So
the
we need
MC
39 other Scott Toros.
yeah, I mean, or
We gotta
like
clone that motherfucker.
yeah, the
Craigslist,
MCs,
rock, Craigslist.
the MCs just need to like stick with a person and grow them, like
yeah, big
to
time.
create a sound.
Well, that was why. So I met Scott around 2006, 2007. Did some music stuff with him, but he moved back to LA. And then after I won the Hoku and I was getting more gigs around here, just more opportunities, I linked up with Illicit. Actually, before finishing the album, he's on that my solo album. He's on I think 6 of the tracks. So meeting him was kind of.
Is he
big
from
deal for
Oahu?
me.
Is he from?
He's from Oahu.
Oh, right.
I think he was born in California, but came out here as a little kid.
Okay.
Grew up in Kalihi. But yeah, so him and I were playing some gigs, and then Scott came out here for a vacation, and he was staying with me, and I had a gig, and he had his MPC. I was like, yo, bring your MPC, let's just rock off that, play this gig, instead of me going there with a CD or a thumb drive or whatever. And we did it, and we're like, this is like, why aren't we doing this? You know, like 2 MCs and a DJ, it's classic.
Right.
So that's why we came up with the whole Super Grouper concept, and yeah, that concept. I mean, it sounds like we're calling ourselves a super group, but it came from a story of the grouper fish.
Right.
A super
Okay,
grouper
so
fish.
okay, that was a lead into another
Three
question.
grouper fish.
Okay, how did you come up with the name Super Groupers? And this is it. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't remember how it started. I'm sure it was just a couple of drinks one night. We were talking about a story.
Oh,
Wouldn't
yeah.
it be funny
Yeah.
that a grouper decided that he no longer wanted to be a fish and he wanted to be a man? He wanted to walk out of the water. He wanted to move to New York. He wanted to get a job and make a bunch of money and start killing it.
There you go.
Right? So he does it. No one's stopping him. He does it. He goes to New York. He puts on a suit. He starts working. And people are looking at him like, something's not right with this dude.
Yeah.
But he presents this air of this powerful personality.
Right,
and no one calls him out. He ends up becoming super successful.
There you go.
Ends up, you know,
Playing the game.
owning the city.
Yep.
But then he, you know, just like all these stories end up, he discovers one morning, wakes up, he's like, I don't even know who I am anymore. I have all this fame, I have all this success,
Yeah.
but who am I
Who are you really?
I'm a fish, dude. I'm
Yeah.
out here, and I'm a fish, and I'm in a suit. Then he decides, yeah, I want to go back to the water, man. I want to be who I am. But then he realizes at this point that he's forgotten how to swim.
Wow.
So that's
it.
the
Enough
first.
Wow.
Already.
Yeah. So that the first album that we came out with, our first full-length album, was called Learn to Swim.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. Right there.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
like
So
the truncated version of that.
That was a very small, truncated version.
Okay, so with that said, and with the great explanation of the album, of the group, and listening to the albums, and it's a very, of course, it's very conscious-minded hip-hop. In 2017,